Now, just a side note before we move into our next segment, I feel like we just have to talk about Elizabeth Leechman because what on the line episode would it be if we don't mention the talented individual that we're seeing? Ashley, this weekend, she breaks the sophomore class record at the Hoka McNeil Invitational with the 16:30 5K performance. This ties her for number 16 all time. And what's mind-blowing to me is it is mid-September.
Yes.
Now, what can we take away from Elizabeth Leechman? Because this is like the fourth race where she has earned speed ratings over 150. No other athlete has done that. Yes. Now, just a couple weekends ago, she lost to Jane Hedegren, but again, it's kind of a similar instance where it's like Evan Noonan versus JoJo Jordan. Like, it was literally
like right there.
Right there. Like, it wasn't a complete blowout. But with Elizabeth and how she is right now, do you think she's the heavy favorite for winning a national title?
Oh, that's so tough because I'm inclined to say that I'm still a very big Jane Hedegren fan, and I think she will win a national title. Mm-hmm. But the way Leishman obviously is running right now is, it's the one word to describe it is historic.
Right.
I know we had some feet on the ground at Hoka McNeil this past weekend, and just, talking with them and hearing their reflection on seeing her run, they were comparing her to watching younger Caitlin Toohey runs.
Yes.
This is the type of athlete that we're talking about here. She's definitely got that pedigree. There's something going right there for her, and I think, with these performances that she's been having each and every week so far this season, I think with each performance, people are getting more on board with the idea that, okay, Leachman's the real deal.
It's almost scary. I'm thinking, because we've had conversations about this in the office, and one of the individuals told Ashley and I, she's never seen Elizabeth Leechman in person, was able to watch her run for the first time, and she's like, that girl was insane. Just watching her run was remarkable and memorable. And she's never met Elizabeth, never seen her compete. So the fact that she's now telling me this at a Hoka McNeil Invitational where she completely destroyed the competition.
She won by, a minute and 18 seconds, which is, and I guess, really good competition too. And, again, the conditions, weren't great either. It was, insanely muggy, super humid. Not completely ideal. It was hot and humid.
That's all they were saying was it was so hot that day,
So
the humidity here is just ridiculous.
Yes, I think the moral of the story here is Elizabeth Leachman is the real deal.
It's not a fluke. I remember the first performance that she had that was over 150, and I was like, okay, cool.
Yep.
Then the second one happened, I was like, okay, back to back. All right.
Now
third one, she ran against Jane. I'm like, that girl held her own, and Jane is, I feel, a national contender, to win a title. And the fact that she did this again and earned I believe a 160 or 161 speed rating, the first girl to do that this season is and it's early. Yep. It's still mid-September. We still have all of October, all of November. Yeah. Nationals will be first week of December. So I'm hoping that she can just continue this momentum.
That's going to be the key, right, is if you can continue this, going on. She's already has a good amount of races underneath her belt, and obviously she's done incredible things, and I just really hope that continues on for the next few months.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. All right. We got our Elizabeth Leachman segment in. Let's move on to the athletes to watch as the season moves forward. Now, these are some individuals that I feel are starting to turn my head a little bit. I'm like, okay, I recognize your name now, and you have me, I'm paying attention at this point. Yeah. So I think I'm going to kick this off first. I'm going to start, I have two girls and a guy. So let's talk about the girls first.
Sure.
One athlete, I know Max is going to be very proud of this one. Caitlin Rope from Salina Central. She's out in Kansas. And I feel like the defending champion for cross country, she's clocked her third straight win at the Rim Rock Classic. And she set a season's best of 17:33. This also equaled a 145 speed rating. And I've had a chance to just kind of watch her season unfold a little bit more. And like I mentioned, this is someone that's, my wheels are turning, right? Her first race of the year was a 17:41. at the Great Bend Invitational. Then September 14th, she ran at the Bluler Invitational, clocked another 17:41. And here at the Rimrock Classic, she drops that time down to a 7:33, her third straight win on 5K courses. So I'm just looking forward to seeing how she's going to fare when she toes the line against some really strong competition, because the fact that she is putting out these big performances already without much push, I think is really big. And another athlete, speaking of Jane Hedegren, Lily Alder, who actually goes to 10th View, so Jane Hedegren's teammate, she won the Twilight Invitational with a 17:15 5K performance and was the only girl to break 18 minutes on that course and earned a 140 speed rating. I was like, oh, we have another athlete from 10th View.
Yes,
10th View, my eyes are out on you guys right now. So doing great things out there in Utah. So those are my top two ladies. Ashley, for you, who's your top girl that you're just like, okay, she's putting out some big times. I'm looking forward to seeing how she does as the season continues.
Yeah. You know, this athlete here, I know all of us at MileSplit are huge fans of this athlete.
Yes.
And you know, she's up in the Northeast, so, you know, a lot of times, you know, she's not really getting in those really fast 5Ks until toward the end of the season. But that has to be Ruth White out in Orano, Maine. She's a senior there. She won the Manchester Invitational this past weekend in 17:20 for 5K and beat the previous course record by 15 seconds, which that's a pretty big margin there.
Yeah.
Got a 147 speed rating there. You know, you usually don't see her on many speed rating lists. You know, she's going to some of these smaller meets in the Northeast, but she's always a strong competitor. You know, I remember we all got to meet her for the first time last year at Champ Sports Cross Country Nationals.
I love Ruth,
and
she's amazing.
She was so lovely.
Yes.
And, you know, you could tell she's like such a fierce competitor as well. And you know, she placed 17th overall there in her first time at a national meet. So I definitely think that, you know, looking at this, 17:20 is also it's a 7-second PR for her in her career. So I think if she's running that right now in September, that she's going to be a factor moving into the fall.
Absolutely. I completely agree with Ruth. Just an incredible athlete as she is as a human being. She's just super sweet. So let's kind of switch gears. Let's talk about the boys now. This guy's from Colorado, from Chaparro High School. He's a senior. Brennan Draper. Now, I kind of was taking a deeper dive into his resume for the 2023 cross-country season. He was 6th at Liberty earlier this month, but then he was able to bounce back with a victory at the Dave Sanders Invitational, where he clocked a season's best of 15:22. And I feel like this could really be a breakout season for him, Ashley, because last year he went 15:06 to set a personal best before he finished 25th at the Colorado 5A state championship. So the fact that he's just like dropping some time down, and the fact that he competed at Liberty against some really stiff competition as well, I feel like this is just continuing that momentum that he's potentially someone that could really stand out in the state of Colorado, and I think he's just doing amazing things already. So for you, Ashley, who's your top guy?
All right, I know when I say the school Mercer Island, I think I'm sure what comes to mind, at least for you and I, is Sophia and Victoria Rodriguez.
Yes.
But I want to talk about their top guy on that team, and that's Owen Powell. And, you know, right now on the boys' side there, he's truly one of the better juniors in the entire country. He just ran 14:46 to win the boys' race at the MOOC XC Invites. He got a 183 speed rating there. That's his first time under 15 minutes. And, you know, 14:46 is no joke, you know, no matter where the course is. And so I think he's definitely someone to keep an eye on. You know, looking at his resume in the past, he ran 4:07 for the mile on the track last year as a sophomore, which is pretty insane as an underclassman. So I think he's going to be someone we're going to keep an eye on moving forward.
Got our eyes out for you guys. So keep up the great work. Again, this cross-country season, I feel like it's just starting, but it's already blown my mind away with just the strong performances that we're seeing so early. So